What's up, Internet? Welcome back to some more Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and today is actually going to be a build video. In fact, it's going to be my personal favorite go-to build that is, more than anything, just going to be a culmination of everything that we've discovered up to this point in version 1.4.0. Now, there are actually three reasons as to why I want to make this video. Now, the first reason is, of course, this is kind of in light of the recent data mine that has gone on the internet a couple of days ago. Actually, I believe it was 2 days ago when they unveiled this, and there was a bunch of new blades that were tentatively found inside of the data mine. And the thing about that is that by virtue of just all the changes that have been happening in this game, things like power creep, I wanted to sort of make this video as sort of a posterity. So that's kind of what it is. I know that data mine is kind of big news, but I made the conscious decision to not talk about it too much, just due to the fact that by just by virtue of being sort of declassified data that has been found without the developers meaning for us to know that, I'd prefer that we'll just take everything on its own official merits for when the time comes. So when those blades come out, yeah, we're definitely doing showcases of them, but this video right now is just for the purposes of, this is before that, and it's kind of meant to serve as a marker in sort of the timeline. Not to mention that the biggest reason why I want to make this is because this is pretty much the most effective one that at least I've been able to use. Obviously, everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, everyone has their own play styles, and I don't want to detract from them, but if you're looking for something to do, if you've just beaten the game, or you just got the game, and you're twiddling your thumbs wondering what to do next, then this might be a good idea of what you want to be sort of working towards in the future in between now and the next DLC. So, I'm just going to go ahead and then talk about what exactly this build entails. I'm going to be using Zeke, Tora, and Morag for this one. I have taken quite a shine to Morag lately due to the fact that her new passive, or rather her affinity chart change, has given her the golden opportunity, which increases the damage of chain attacks. Yes, this is going to be a chain attack build. The main downside to this is that it's so chain attack reliant. However, due to all the changes of New Game Plus, it's really easy to build party gauge, so that's exactly what we're trying to aim for here. As long as you can score excellent on your QTEs, you're going to charge up your meters really quickly, so yeah, just keep that in mind. Now, in terms of the actual party members used, I'm going to be restricting the blades that the three drivers will be having. More than anything, I'm doing this not because there's any benefit to it aside from time efficiency. This is essentially what I use for speed farming bosses. This is what I used to fill out T-elos' affinity chart a week ago, or a couple of weeks back, and honestly, this was, again, the most effective for that end and that end alone. Most bosses would end up dying, and I'm talking about super bosses, by the way. They would end up dying within like a minute or just over 60 seconds. It's really fast. Now, the thing about this, though, is that this is pretty much what you expect. This Herald is the exact same setup that you've seen for the Judgment Day Protocol video that I made, with just one little adjustment. The big difference, really, between this and the Judgment Day Protocol team that I had several months ago is that there's going to be no focus on Cosmos, just because Cosmos is really rare, and Telos is much less rarer. In fact, I believe she's one of the higher pull chances in the entire roster, so that's exactly what we'll be looking at later today. But for the Heralds, Herald wins at having the best level 1 special in the entire game, and we want to capitalize on that as best as we can. So you see, a special level 1 outdoor attack, you can switch this out with an indoor attack if you're fighting against what's it called? Auric Mark 7, I believe it's called, and then Affinity Max Attack. Pretty basic stuff, again, just stacking a lot of damage, and honestly, it just takes one chain set to kill anything. It's just that this setup, it works very similarly to Judgment Day mode, you'll see in the demonstration today, but the actual process of building towards that chain attack is way faster than it is. And the next one I also want to show is Hazuki. This is my Orb Master Common Blade. Now, just for those of you guys that don't know, Orb Mastery is really good, because if you are present, if this blade is on the field while the blade combos are going on, it's going to create an orb of that element. So in her case, if she starts off, then she's going to create a dark orb at 100% chance, and then follow it up with a light element for a light orb, and then finally Herald with a level 3. It would have been an electric orb anyway. This is going to be on Morag, who is going to be the player character. And before I actually go into the Telos build, actually no, we'll go into the Telos build now, because Poppy is going to be probably the more lengthy one to explain. This is going to be level 2 plus 5. This is really, really good just because, again, we're going to be going for 2 rounds. This is essentially a single orb setup, but we're going with 2 orbs because we're also using Elemental Orb Ender. We're going to be breaking 2 orbs per run, and with each orb that you break, the more damage bonuses that you get during the chain attack, so you want to get that as fast as possible. Due to the fact that we do have a light element on our team, Poppy Cutie Pie, Element Orb Ender is just perfect, and we're going to be doing that for the Poppy, which you will be seeing shortly. Level 2 special, because we're going for that one, you can easily hit cap damage even without things like dying. No, there's no need for dying, there's no need for the killing of smaller adds. All you have to do is just press plus, and you're going to be hitting cap damage per line. She's so good. Oh my goodness. And of course, Affinity Max Attack. These are pretty much the better ones. I had to sacrifice Outdoor Attack, obviously, but Elemental Orb Ender is just that much more valuable. And the ordering of our party is going to be very important too. We're going to be going with Morag first, then followed by Tora, and then when both orbs are bursted, then the Herald is going to get the bulk of the damage. It's really, really strong. And we're going to be fighting multiple super bosses today, so please look forward to it. Now, finally, there is going to be the Poppy Cutie Pie setup. Now, this is a really, really nice one. I did make a Poppy quote-unquote optimized video, and then I realized, wait a minute, this isn't nearly as optimized as I want it to be, but essentially these are all the parts that you see right here. I'll just quickly explain them to you. Roll CPU, Muscle Mod 6, you could go for Master if you have space for it, or if you're willing to sacrifice one of your arts cards for it, but yeah, we're gonna go for Muscle Mod just for the strength bonus. Elemental Core Light. Honestly, this is kind of like the perfect thing now, just because the new updates let us purchase this for 1 million bonus experience. So Elemental Core Light, you don't even need to worry about RNG anymore, playing Tiger. Arts cards, Critical Up, System Reset, Recharge Boost, these are pretty obvious. You want the Critical Up because she's a crit heal, and then System Reset, just in case you get inflicted with Doom or Stench or anything like that. Recharge Boost, it's really good because when you're playing with the AI, like the AI will be controlling Poppy, what's going to be happening here is that all the fast recharges, it'll be really, really easy to build to a level 2 or level 3, and we want to build level 2 or 3 as soon as possible, because remember, we're playing with Orb Master, and the faster we can do that, the much faster the fights will happen, and the faster the fights are, the less likely we are to die, so we can actually afford to go a little bit squishy this time around. Then for the skill rounds, Outdoor Attack, Critical Restore, Affinity Max Attack, there's no need for explanation here. Critical Restore 1 is actually way more efficient than using a Critical Restore, well, anything higher than that, just because, again, Poppy does absurd amounts of damage anyway, so, and there's only so much HP that you can be healed by, so that's exactly what we're going for over here. Now, specials enhancing round. I used to do the boss killer ones until I realized that Vital Charge had, like, even more damage to go along with it. A very, very easy threshold to reach, too. So the thing is, when I was using the other ones, I realized that because we're using crit heal and we're only using crit restore 1, we have so much space available and we can do way more damage as a result. Level 1, it's mandatory that you do have that because that is going to be using for the chain attack. For the level 2 vital charge, I would recommend either for... Yeah, level 2 works, but then because we're also using System Reset and then pouch items, it might be more likely for Tora to do level 3 instead because of how fast it builds. So if you want, you can switch between 2 or 3 depending on how you find the fights going. Obviously, for those of you guys that don't know, to know which combo the character is going to be using, just look at the little dots that are swirling around their icon, and then you'll see which combo or level of the combo it's going to be. Finally, skill upgrade. Critical up because we want more critical chance, and then we get the level 1 special just to increase the damage of that, and the Elemental Orb Ender. Remember, we're playing with a Dark Orb. By virtue of being a light element, she's going to burst that immediately. And then finally, there is going to be the pouch items, Astrology Made Simple, and Snow Dumplings for all the characters, because we want more specials recharging, more specials doing damage, and more driver arts recharging even quicker. There are some that are faster than 0.3, but honestly, it has gotten to the point where the 0.1 difference, or even the 0.2 difference, if such a thing happens, wouldn't actually matter that much. It's really, really, really good, so yeah, keep that in mind. Not to mention we have that crit recharge going on, and of course the accessories, what you've come to expect, burst symbol, crit symbol, optical headbands, all that good stuff. So, I've talked a lot, let's go ahead and get into the nonsense. Alright, so the first one is going to be Cloud-Sea King Ken. This is actually going to be a really interesting one because Cloud-Sea King Ken already dies pretty quickly. It's pretty easy to solo him if you're just going solo Rex Pyra. By the way, one thing I forgot to mention about the build is that there's a third slot available for Morag. I would recommend that the general flow of the battle would be just to build up your affinity and then switch over, because if you die, the affinity will actually stay for whoever you're not having active. What you can do is just have like some sort of HP mod. Cassandra's my favorite HP mod, so you can do that. Or if you feel like the need for extra damage, you can also go for the strength bonus. So here we go. One other thing you can do if you just want to play it extra safe, just press the left button on the D-pad to command your opponents to go. Sorry, not your opponents, your allies to get going. And then when Tora grabs enough aggro, it's time for you to just go ahead and wail on them. We're going to be using a crit recharge, and just like that, we've already gotten ourselves into the max affinity. And we're safe to just switch out now. So that's pretty good for us. Switch out, and then cancel all of your abilities. We're just going to rush right on through. If you get an excellent on this one, that should be a full party gauge for you. And even if it's not full, Tora will do the level 3 combo, and then that is going to be absolutely full party gauge. And off we go. Just like that, we've already finished the fight. Cloud Seeking Ken is already dead, and he just hasn't realized it yet. So there we go. That is going to be the Orb Ender, and then Poppy's going to follow up to break the second orb. Now, thanks to the fact that we've broken both orbs, the guy's already dead, and we have plenty of damage bonuses that you can see on the left side of the screen. Herald, here we go, the most fun QTE in the world. Just smash that B button, and you'll see just some pretty nice numbers. Honestly, it would be more efficient if you actually were to look at the, if you were actually to look at the characters to make sure that there's that gold line. That's the reason why Herald did less damage, but it doesn't matter because Poppy Cutie Pie overkilled on the first round because she's just that good. And here we go. So yeah, the pretty simple stuff. Honestly, I did make the mistake. I should have failed the QTE, but I was just so caught up in the heat of the moment that I just had to keep on going for it. If you fail the QTE, what's going to happen here is that you will be forced to only use the guys that have either broken orbs, but if no one has broken orbs on that driver, if no blades have broken orbs on that driver, then you will be forced to use another one. And if you're forced to use another one, that just means that if there are no other blades, then it just automatically ends, and that's going to be much faster, again, for speed efficiency. And you're going to be seeing that right now. I'm going to try to right the wrongs by fighting against Ice Cube, man. Okay, this guy is really easy. Okay, again, just like usual, just wait around a little bit, let the aggro be grabbed. We don't have an avant-garde medal, so I don't want to risk getting tanky. Not to mention that Tora does have a tendency to sort of just run around to the side as things go on. Try to position yourself so that you're a little bit more towards the side. And yeah, just continue your cancels. It should take like 3 Admiral Waltz if you're at full affinity. And here we go. Okay, so there's the switch. Don't even need to worry about canceling perfectly anymore at this point. And then once we finish this QTE, just look at that bar, immediately rises up. And yeah, again, we are a little bit short right now, but that's okay. That crit recharge is going to fully heal Tora. And then there goes the party gauge. So again, we're going to go again for this cycle. Really, the only weakness of this particular setup that we have is that it's so chain attack reliant. I've said before in the review for update 1.4.0 that we don't exactly know what the challenge mode is going to entail. We don't know if it means that there's going to be like the issue of not being allowed to use chain attacks. If that's the case, that there might be the issue of maybe having chain attacks significantly nerfed in the near future. I really hope not, but if that's the case, then I know that's going to be something that happens. And here we go. Here's that overkill. And yeah, like, so that's the thing, like, Tyrannotitan Kurodil dies really quickly. This is exactly how I maxed out the affinity charts that had to do with chain attacks, because again, thanks to New Game Plus, it's really easy to build up that chain attack. And you know what, how about we cap things off with some good old-fashioned Ophion? How about that? We're gonna go ahead and fight against Artifice Ophion as soon as I can find him. Alright, so one of the really annoying things about Artifice Ophion is that he takes a really long time. So while we're here, I might as well just continue that point I was saying earlier, that we don't exactly know what the new updates will entail. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the, the data mine. Now, apparently, a lot of the uniques will get buffs in terms of their levels. They're going to be at least level 100, which is great, because that means that people like Zenobia will finally get a run for their money without those boss damage bonuses. It's all well and good, and honestly, I do hope that things get maybe some improvements here and there, but honestly, I do stand to benefit a lot from the buffs. I know I had my complaints saying that, yeah, making everything stronger, higher levels might not necessarily be fun, but as someone that does make a habit, or rather make a hobby out of fighting against enemies for the sake of showcasing the blades and what they're capable of, having higher levels and more HP would actually be very beneficial to me, so I cannot wait to fight against Sky Remington again. Sorry, not Sky Remington, Sky Fist Remington. Artifice Ophion is going to take his sweet time, and also this is a New Game Plus that we're doing right now, so we're going to be getting ourselves the data terminal. This will be fun. Really, the main issue with Artifice Ophion that I'm worried about, and this is one of the few cases where it's mandatory that you have HP modifiers on your team, or at least titanium vests, is because he hits for a lot of damage, and it doesn't even matter if you have the aggro on you, because it's going to be hit for an AoE, and it's really, really painful. Hello, Poppy. I love Poppy. Hope she gets a new form in the near future. Really, really hope so. But yeah, there's going to be quite a few blades coming up, and I honestly, part of the reason why I said earlier, I mentioned that there are new blades on the horizon, and if that's the case, I really hope that this video that you're watching right now will be obsolete. I hope to look back at this 1.4.0 video that we're making right now is not as viable as it used to be due to all the amazing things that we got. That power creep is something I'm very much looking forward to. Okay, so here is that yellow line. I just want to make sure that everyone else has it too. Okay, so hopefully Harold just clues in that that's exactly what I want. And then here comes a Ray of Light. What you could also do is have Patroka here, since it's a guaranteed weakness to light, so you can give Poppy even more damage. But otherwise, though, just press plus. Artifice Ophion, he's already dead, just hasn't realized it yet. So here we go, Elemental Orb Ender. And this is resisted damage, and she's doing 700,000. It's really, really cool. She's at S+, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed. She's amazing without S+. Telos, she's amazing without S+, but with it, ugh. Like, I really don't know how we're going to top things in future Blades, but if it happens, it happens. So again, I'm going to go ahead and fail this one, because it doesn't matter, because Telos, despite the fact that she's a dark element, she's going to overkill anyway. This cat damage? Yep, cat damage on resist. Goodness gracious me, what a great gal. What a great gal, ladies and gentlemen, what a great gal. But yeah, this is basically the build that I've been using right now, and like I said, hopefully this might end up being obsolete in the next update. I really hope so, but right now, this is the best that it is. Like, really, this is the best that I've been able to find in the 5 months that this game's been out, and honestly, I for one would not at all be salty if it ended up getting outclassed. Anyways, guys, thanks very, very much for joining. Feel free to steal this build and claim it as your own, because this is a fun one. This is a really, really good build, and honestly, I feel like anything that we have in the future, it can only go up from here, and if the rumors are correct, and if the data mine is completely accurate, or even half as accurate as it presents itself to be, then we're going to be in for a really, really good time in the very near future. Anyways, guys, thanks very, very much for watching, and as usual, see you next time.